Hello, my starseed loved ones, and all of my loved ones that are coming back to the channel. I hope that you're all doing well. I felt really motivated to record a video in light of some of the consequence of COVID-19, and that is having some social distancing from one another. And so there are a few things that I wanted to discuss that are actually opportunities for us with this social distancing that is going on. And I also wanted to deliver us some oracle messages so that we can get some guidance. First and foremost, I hope that you are all doing well, that you're taking whatever precautions are necessary for you and your family and loved ones to stay healthy. I hope that those who are in need have access to tissues, to masks, to antimicrobial and antibacterial things, just to keep our environments as safe and as healthy as we possibly can. One of the interesting side effects of a lot of the legislation that's been happening on local levels, at least here in the United States, has been the limiting of groups of people congregating. And this is problematic in a lot of ways. It disrupts commerce. It disrupts our daily lives in many ways. But as always, with the shadow, there is the light side of this. And for me, I believe that this is a beautiful opportunity for us to really work on our face-to-face connections with those that we live with, to make phone calls and catch up with dear, dear friends. I actually am recording this just after getting off of a phone call that lasted for a couple of hours with my Mintakan soul sister, the Enlightened Mermaid. So, and we shared some of these ideas that we have as teachers, as guides. We see this as a tremendous opportunity to really work on facilitating those connections, of making those phone calls that the hustle and bustle of our day-to-day lives really typically limit us from being able to do. And so one of the things that I wanted to share with you was that this time that we have been given, where we're not engaged in the active hustle and bustle, happens to be because we are trying to contain this virus to which no one has a developed immunity. But a lot of times we say to ourselves, well, I get a lot of clients that say, Soulmate, Journey, Empath, how do you devote time to a spiritual practice every day? I'm so busy with work, with my family, that I don't have a space for it. I don't have a time for it in my life. And so one of the other messages that I have for you is that this is giving us the opportunity to spend time with ourselves, as well as those people that we love, and foster those face-to-face connections. And so if you are telecommuting, if you have been asked to stay home, we're all being more cautious about the nature of travel away from home at this time. The universe is giving you a beautiful, beautiful gift. And that is the space to develop your spiritual practice. If you've felt like external circumstances have made that something that is difficult for you to connect to. And so I just invite you all at this time, if you have been one of those individuals that feels like you don't have 30 minutes a day to invest in yourself spiritually, that here we have this opportunity now because we are socially distanced from others. We're unable to congregate in large groups. And so for a great many of you out there that are part of a religious community, this is affecting you as well, because in individual states in the United States, individual metropolitan areas, there has been emergency legislation to restrict the number of people that are congregating together. And because we still have our virtual communities, I think that this is a beautiful opportunity to bring your spirituality, to bring your spiritual or religious practices, to bring your health practices, and to share them with others in virtual space. And so I am a firm believer in a holistic model of health, in integrating mind, body, spirit, and the material. And so I just invite you, if you are unable to participate in person in your religious or spiritual practices, recognize and realize that you can develop content and reach people through the World Wide Web. And my cat has come to say hello, Obi-Wan. Do you have any thoughts on COVID-19? Not so many thoughts per se, but I invite you to share your spirituality, your religious practices at this time online with others, to foster a sense of community, and also to recognize that in having this virtual platform, we do have the opportunity to connect with other people that we wouldn't normally be able to connect with because of, again, this social distance that is happening at this time. Sorry about that. I'm back. I've recovered from the cat bombing, but Obi-Wan does say, hello. So again, don't be afraid to share your spiritual or religious practices. There are a lot out there who are looking to foster that sense of community that has been interrupted by restrictions on us being able to congregate in groups because of COVID-19. So that is that message, that this is a gift, if you choose to accept it as such, to really invest some time in yourself. And I like to tell my clients that mindfulness, that coming to these points of clarity, before we get to the point where we are fine-tuning our focus to get specific pieces of information, we have to allow our mind to just be still. And it's very difficult with all of the things that are happening globally connected to the transmission of COVID-19. There are a lot of worries, a lot of anxieties. There are specific individuals that are members of specific soul groups that are reliving some traumas that are triggered by these events that are happening right now. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that a lot of us teachers and guides have really felt the energetic pull of a very large ascension, a very large awakening happening this year. And without getting too political and keeping things very, very spiritual, I think a lot of the systems and the ways in which we've been doing things that do not support the collective are really, really under the microscope right now, are really in the forefront. If there are government agencies that are supposed to be providing assistance, if there's been an interruption in those services, if there's an interruption to people receiving adequate and appropriate medical treatment, this is bringing a lot of ways that we construct our societies to the forefront. And since we do have this 5D timeline happening, because there are a lot of souls that are awakening and beginning their ascension process, in 2020, one of the things that we're going to see is we're going to see emphasis on the ways in which things are not working, the ways in which things are not sustainable, the ways in which things are not contributing to our overall survival, our unity, and our growth as the human race. And as many of you know, because I do a lot of starseed content, no one could convince me that this is the only example of humanity, because I, for myself, know that that is not true. Humanity has existed in multiple places, in multiple forms, just in our own galaxy, let alone getting into other things. And so we do have examples. A lot of us have soul memories. We may have strong intuitions related to our soul groups that are bringing forth messages right now about what is not working, or maybe strategies we need to implement for the human system to function better, to function globally rather than regionally. And so, especially with all of the Pisces influence that we have going on right now, what I'm really getting is that a lot of you are getting downloads and light codes in sleep time. And what we also have the opportunity to do with this degree of social isolation is to really put those messages, put those intuitive hits that we're getting into perspective and ground those light codes into our material reality. So a lot of things happening. Just a couple of things I wanted to get into being an Indigenous energy worker there are some remedies that have been used in the Americas pre-Columbus that are very, very effective strategies for healing the body when it's dealing with a foreign infection, whether that's viral or bacterial. And so one of the first things that I wanted to mention that may seem kind of like common sense is a lot more scientific, actually, than common sense related. And first and foremost, it is the burning of sage, especially white sage. And the reason why my people and my ancestors and our relations in the Americas burned sage was, one, it was a sacred medicine. Two, when we are burning things and releasing the smoke, those messages travel to spirit. Those messages, our intentions, travel on that smoke to spirit. But one of the other things that is not widely discussed outside of practitioners of traditional medicine is that the smoke from white sage has antimicrobial properties. So not only are we cleansing and balancing energy when we are engaging with sage, when we're engaging with the smoke from sage, not only are we bringing forth intentions and setting them up to the divine, we're also literally, it's like using sanitizer for your spirit. And we know this, right? Like that's a common thing. A lot of us, all of people that are a little bit more spiritually inclined are familiar with sage and the use of sage for clearing and cleansing energy, but it literally has antimicrobial properties. So if you're in a space and energetically, emotionally, psychologically being socially isolated with the same persons, you may want to be smudging anyway, just to make sure that the energy is staying nice and balanced. But it also has some properties for cleansing bacterial things. And if we're changing out air in our homes, the smudging of white sage is something that could provide some healing and some health benefits. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that cedar is one of the most sacred medicines, at least from the two traditions that I come from. And so one of the other things that's interesting about cedar is that it has antimicrobial properties as well. So even if we are quarantining to avoid contact with COVID-19, we can still deal with other things. And in the Northern Hemisphere, in the United States, where I'm at, spring is starting. For a lot of people, you have an antihistamine response to the pollens that are coming out in the spring. And what happens when we have this autoimmune response, this antihistamine response, is that our body system, our immune system, is trying to attack whatever foreign elements are coming into our airways, into our nose, or even the eyes, right? So a lot of people that suffer from seasonal allergies will shower more frequently, will stay inside more often, are taking active measures to wash their hands to get pollen off of their face. And the big thing about that is most of our treatment for these things are mild steroid medicines to reduce the inflammation in our sinus passages and through our airways. And being cooped up inside, you still can deal with having sinus infections if you get this accumulation and this heightened histamine production. So if you're cooped up in your house and you do have access to sage or cedar, they are things that I would recommend to you. I absolutely do not give medical advice. Spiritual is the advice that I'm giving. But in terms of the practical, in terms of home remedies, in terms of serving your corporal body and your spiritual body, I just wanted to bring the use of sage and cedar to your overall attention, because those are things that can keep those environments that we're sharing in close quarters with other people at this time, keep them energetically and bacterially clean. All right. So for the next part of this reading, I just wanted to get into pulling some tarot and oracle cards for us, just to kind of see where our collective energies are at this time. So let's call in what are messages that the collective needs to hear at this time. What are messages that the collective needs to hear at this time? All right, that feels good. We'll go ahead and cut. So some of you may notice, like, wow, Jamie, you're looking a little rough. And I have to say, I don't feel rough at all. I actually feel great. And I am enjoying this no makeup, no bra, barefoot around my house. And I just encourage you all to get comfortable as well. As comfortable as you can, because a lot of us are still having to work remotely. And that's a reality. That is a reality for a lot of people. For me, with this, that's my day-to-day reality. But I'm just really embracing it right now. And I encourage you to embrace it as well, to do whatever strategies are keeping you grounded in this time. If that is wearing comfy clothes, if that is living in your pajamas, if that's sitting around in your bathrobe, I mean, each of us have a different way in which that looks. For me, that's no makeup, no bra, and I feel absolutely comfortable, feel absolutely radiant. no need for anything else at this time. So what are some messages for the collective? What are some messages? Oh my gosh, and I already see where this is going. I already see, and it wants me to use the bottom of the deck. Wow. So I just abso-freaking-lutely love what I have for you, my dears, because it's very much reflecting that personal message I wanted to give you. And again, that's not so much an intuitive message. It's just, well, maybe it is intuitive, but it is just me to you in this time, in this space, things that I felt were important to share with you. But then here we go, and we could laugh about it and go, oh, that's a great synchronicity. Or we could just go, yes, yes, the universe is giving signs. So first out for us, my loved ones, I do have the Four of Pentacles energy. And in this Psychic Tarot for the Heart, which you know I love, this is about opening up. And when you think of the traditional Four of Pentacles energy, right? It's someone, they have their hands crossed. They're kind of holding on to what few things they have. And that reminds me very much of some of the images that we've been seeing on social media of people hoarding supplies in light of these quarantines that are happening for the coronavirus. So rather than doing that and being in this hoarding energy, I love that the energy of this card really reflects what I was saying about fostering our interpersonal connections. This is a time when our priorities can change. It's temporary for right now, but it is still an opportunity, an invitation, if you will, that the divine, that the universe is giving to each one of us. Open up. Open up. Strengthening bonds, Ace of Pentacles. Again, this is that message that I have for you. Strengthening your existing bonds, opening up, reaching out, fostering those connections. And then here we have this Chariot energy. This is Cancerian energy. Cancerian energy is all about fostering those connections. And look, fostering those connections, strengthening bonds, movement. And what I love is that we have major arcana movement, where in the minor arcana here, we're focusing on opening up and strengthening bonds. These are beautiful messages. This is an invitation for us right now to, again, to reprioritize, to make time for things. It's almost like the Tower energy, right? With Scorpionic energy, divine intervention. Here we're caught up in routinized and robotic ways of living, of thinking that we don't have enough time. And here we have time handed to us to foster these connections that we have in our day-to-day lives. And I think that that's absolutely beautiful. I know that's what I'm working on. And here, before I get into shuffling, in the numerology deck, here we have health. 71. 7 and 1 add to 8. 8 is transformation. It is transformation. We may not be able to have this outside movement forward, right? But we can make headway and work on the health of our relationships. So I love this message. Let's go ahead and shuffle these. Shuffle these and see what we have. And I get one more shuffle. And look on the bottom, we have love. 6, harmony. Harmony, this is restoring harmony in connections. I want to go back to this Ace of Pentacles, which specifically says strengthening bonds. So it's very interesting that my guides called me to use this deck today, because typically we would be talking about some kind of offer, something new. But the way that that energy reads in this deck is different. What messages do we have for the collective? We have one out. And let's get one more, please. Whoops. One more message for the collective to go with this tarot. All right. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love this. So here at the bottom of the deck, we have nature, number 74. 4 and 7 in numerology add to 11, a master number of divine guidance. Nature. So some of you may be familiar with the Gaia theory, that when organisms surpass the capacity for the environmental resistance happens, and Gaia, Mother Earth, kind of fights back. So I am seeing this opportunity, this coronavirus situation, as being something that's divinely guided. And I see it relating very, very closely to the ascension experience that is happening for so many of us right now. So this is absolutely amazing. With the open up comes the environment. Heart chakra energy, number 44, again, a master number of balance and foundation. Working on the foundations of these relationships here. And opening up, the arms are coming from a crossed position to opening up this heart chakra energy. So again, number 4, 44. There's your synchronicity. And then under strengthening bonds, healing, number 66. And again, that's a master number. We had 6 with love come out on the bottom of the deck at the very beginning. So strengthening bonds, investing in these relationships, investing. And here with all of this blue third eye chakra energy, what I really see is your intuition is guiding you as to who it is that you need to reach out to. Whose connection needs fostering in your life. So each one of you is going to know which relationship here with that 66, again, the number of harmonious relationships. Each of you is going to know, okay, which one of your connections, or there may be multiple connections that you can be fostering at this time. And the next card that I had come out with this Chariot energy is number 3. And I love 3s. That's you, me, and the divine. That's me, the universe, and my divine team. However you choose to look at it. There are going to be ideas. And I love that there's so much yellow in this Cancerian energy of the Chariot card for this deck. Creativity is going to be heightened for a lot of us right now. And I say that as here I am using my creative skills to make this video for you, that this is also an invitation to look inside and see, with this blue, with our intuitive hits, what are we being given the opportunity to create right now? Absolutely beautiful energy. Let's get into the soul's journey. I feel like those energies read very well with these numerology cards. So get a shuffle in here. I'm being told 2 more and we're good to go. So, I mean, again, this goes back to that opening discussion of, what are your priorities right now? And we are being invited to re-examine those and to devote our energy in other directions that we often just really don't make time for. And I love it. On the bottom here, we have success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. I think this is huge because this is reminding us we get so stuck in the material reality that often our priorities don't reflect the things that we truly, truly value. And coming out of that Virgo full moon, Virgo is all about 6th house. It's all about what do we value? What do we value as individuals? What do we value as a society? What do we value as humans? What are the things that are important to us? And our idea of success needs to be fluid because the things that we place value on are not all material things. So I love that message. Let's get one on open up an environment, please. Okay, strengthening bonds and healing. Strengthening bonds and healing. Thank you. And the Chariot and creativity. Move and creativity. Move and... Whoop. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love these synchronicities here. Courage. Courage is the message overall. So with environment and open up, empathy. Empathy. And I love that. Empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. Again, this is connecting. This is connecting with people that you may cohabitate with family. Okay. But in your immediate environment, people that you are finding in your current environment, empathy is being emphasized to really open up and foster those connections. Now, with healing and strengthening bonds, we have the energy of discipline. And disciplines, I can accomplish anything that I set my mind to. So, this is really beautiful because what I'm getting for some of you is that this opportunity is not just impacting the emphasis on what you value right now, just in response to the coronavirus. It is intersecting with this point in your spiritual awakening where you are learning to reprioritize things moving forward, like this newer version of yourself. In discipline, I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to. These temporary shifts, you have the power and the courage to implement as ongoing discipline in your life. Now, what I love is with that Chariot energy and creativity, moving towards creativity. We have the Success card again with all this beautiful, look at all this yellow. I just absolutely love this solar plexus chakra energy. Absolutely beautiful. And so we have that Success card. We have growth and we have fear. But look at all of this solar plexus energy. Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And I think this is beautiful because it goes back to that original discussion of, there's a lot going on. A lot of things are up in the air. And this is a source of fear for a lot of people. I'm getting a lot of fear specifically for those of you with the Maldex soul group. And also some Mintakans. I'm picking up a little bit of fear. And this is because Mintakans have a very extroverted nature, very much have to mingle, have to get out there, have to, there's a very communal aspect to the Mintakan personality. And having these restrictions is something that could trigger fear. For those that have a Maldex soul group, anything happening on a global perspective is something that triggers past life trauma for you. But what I'm seeing here is here we have this choice. And I love how we have both the root chakra and the crown chakra here, because we can go lower frequency with what's happening right now. We have a conscious choice to go lower frequency with it or to go up. And growth, I want to expand my consciousness and awareness. Again, even if this is like overcoming fear, growing, finding success in developing a disciplined spiritual practice that you can incorporate for 30 minutes a day. If it's creating something that's an expression of where you're at energetically, of where your consciousness is at right now, a lot of divine support for that, a lot of space that the divine is holding for those of us that are integrating these different aspects of ourselves, to be blessed and accepted in doing that right now. And so this is just absolutely beautiful energy. Let's get some power of love messages. Oh, that was just one. Let's see. 3 messages for the collective, please. And there they are. And they came out so fast. And again, here they're echoing these other messages. So under empathy, environment, open up, we have expression. You are ready to manifest your thoughts and transform them into acts of love. So again, expressing, fostering these connections that we have, expressing our love, expressing, I've missed you. I missed you. We haven't been able to connect like I would like to manage our connection because of this, that, or the other. But look, we have this time. We have this space. I love you. I miss you. How are you? Beautiful energy. And I'm just smiling on the inside because like I said at the beginning of this, I literally just got off the phone with my Mintakan soul sister, and we were talking about this very thing. So this is beautiful. All right. Underneath discipline and healing, we have peacefulness with strengthening bonds and healing. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love all bring calmness to your soul. Green heart chakra here. Absolutely beautiful. And what is it that brings you peacefulness? The relationships in your life, your spiritual practice, being able to spend time on projects around where you live, even if it's housekeeping, if it's doing your laundry. Maybe you have potted plants. Maybe you have pets. What brings you peace in your immediate surroundings? This is an invitation to commune with it. Absolutely beautiful. And then with all of this creative energy, we have discernment. You are developing the skill to distinguish love from fear, truth from illusion, love from fear, growth, success, creativity, this movement. For what I'm getting for a lot of you that have been, on your ascension path for a while, this is a break in the lessons. This is a break in the action to really allow you to practice this new sense of discernment that you've developed, to recognize whether you are responding from a place of love, a place of consciousness, or if you are responding from a place of fear, that it is no longer necessary for you to take forward. And having this fear and talking about choosing between fear and love with discernment is really a sign of your individual growth and success on a soul level. So, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful messages here. I want to go ahead and get into 2 small decks here. These are the divine doors, and I just absolutely love them. You can typically pick doors, but I just like to free shuffle through. And I have a message, a collective message for us here with a divine doorway that opened up. This is your doorway. This is the doorway that we are going through. And I love it because it's overgrown with roots. It's natural. That tells me, and I'm getting the intuitive hit right now, this is a door that has been provided. So, are you ready for the message on the back? It's absolutely beautiful. Divine Guardian, do not be nervous today or tonight. The path you are on will lead you just right. Divine Guidance, we had these master numbers come up here in the reading. We had some 3 come up here in that reading, some 11. Just know that you are protected right now. Your soul is safe. You are protected. And last but not least, for those of you that identify as star seeds, I want to go through this star seed oracle. Even if you don't identify as a star seed, there may be a message in here for you. So let's see. What are the messages from this oracle deck? And we got 2. And what I love on the bottom is here is surrender. Surrender your need to control the outcome. Just be with life in this present moment. Signs and synchronicities. There's that opening discussion. Actually, we have, oh my gosh. We have 3 messages. And again, I talked about with this doorway, can't we see these roots? And I'm thinking Mother Earth. We've talked about the Gaia theory. Here she is. Connect to the pulse of Mother Earth. She will guide you through this time of change. This is a very, very powerful message. She will guide you through with Divine Guardian. Observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. This, again, is getting into, and then reflection. See all aspects of yourself through the reflection of the one who mirrors your hidden self. This is an invitation. When we think of observation and reflection, those are very key points in spiritual cycles. And I think this is a confirmation, definitely, that there is a shift going on to balance things out. And energetically, we know this to be true. But there's Mother Earth balancing things out. But this is providing us time to observe and reflect that is divinely protected, divinely guided. And here are these invitations to focus on all of these aspects of ourselves, of our lives, if we would just surrender. Surrender. So I hope that those messages resonate with you, my loved ones. I am sending you so much love. Don't forget that you can always connect with me via my email, my Instagram, soulmate_journey_empath. And I hope that all of you are embracing this opportunity. If you have questions, concerns, or there's anything that I can do for you, please email me. I tend to be able to address those private emails a little bit quicker than I can get back to folks on social media. Although coming out of this healing, I am getting back to my routine of posting things regularly for you on social media. So do whatever you have to do. Burn your sage, walk barefoot, skip the bra, whatever it is that helps you feel grounded, whatever it is that can connect you to these significant connections in your life, to foster those relationships, to communicate, to reprioritize. Please take advantage of this blessing that your ascension process, that Mother Earth, and that the timeline we're in have given us. All right. So as always, I love you all so very much, and I'm sending you strength, love, and light. Bye-bye.